What was the last class? So we were discussing about events, event binding. What else we have done on that day? Okay, let me check out my channel so that I can recollect. So, guys, okay, today what we are going to do is um, how to understand the API calls. Okay, what is API calls? How to make an API call from our website? I mean, our web application is more important. But what is the purpose of API calls, guys? Uh, I'm teaching the same point from the morning somehow. The same thing uh, I'm discussing. So I'll make it so simple. For example, here is our browser. Okay. And in general, this application comes from a web server. I mean, this website comes from a web server. That means we'll send a request to from the browser like edupoli.in. Imagine. So the web server will have only the web pages, or else even if you have a web application, there also it will have programs which will give you only the HTML, CSS, JavaScript code. That's it. So this code will be sent to the browser. Now also, when you are even this program also, when you run this level of program also, what will happen is when you run this program, it is like a request and response. That means from the browser, we are requesting this page from a server. It is already deployed in a server, which is already there in your Visual Studio Code. So in the beginning days, I have introduced you live server. There, from there, it is coming. This particular page is loading on the browser. So still, we are actually following this approach only. But we'll get generally we get only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code. So after loading the JavaScript code here, after loading this, if it is only one program, let us say a program got loaded, then from that program, we have to get the data from some other API servers. So after loading the page, while we are executing the code here, in this code, we will have a call to the API servers to get the data. So these API servers are mainly responsible for giving us the data. Generally, this is the scenario what do we follow in every application. So first of all, I will practically show you how this is all going to happen. Okay. So first things first, I will create a program that is called as API calls.html. So I'm creating a page. Okay. So here HTML head section, body section, H1. Let's rock the API calls. Okay. So this is the page what I have. So in the browser, actually I'm supposed to write it like this. Localhost :5500/ A API calls, because the file name is API calls dot HTML. So I cannot get API calls because the spelling is capital A. API calls. So it is in the JS folder. Okay. So we have to send JS slash. Okay. Now, when I'm sending this request from the browser, it goes to this server and we got the response from this server as a page. This HTML code, we got this code is being loaded on the server. Have you understood this scenario first? Hello. Arun, please try to tell me. Have you understood this scenario?
ఎస్ సార్ అర్థమైంది సార్.
అచ్చా ఓకే చెప్పు అయితే అర్థమైంది. స్నేహల్,
ఓకే.
Savita, anyone
Yes,
else?
sir. Yes,
Have you
yes,
understood this scenario or not?
yes, sir. Understood.
Okay. I mean, Karimullah, Upender, Vidhi, if you
Yes, sir.
understood this,
Yes, sir.
if you have any issues, please let me know. Because this is the scenario what we are following from so long.
ఎస్ సార్, ఎస్ సార్, ఐ గోట్ ఇట్.
Okay, buddies. So now let's run the API call. That means that that particular page got loaded. The same way, what do I do is in along with this page, I will send some script also in the same page. From now onwards, if I open the program now, there is nothing in the console. Okay. So now if I write console, that means only this much of code is there on the browser. Now console.log of hello edupoli. That means now the latest code got loaded here and we got the hello edupoli as an output. Okay. So now here my script is also loading. Now the next point is as soon as the script gets loaded, we have to send a request to the server. We have to send a request to some API server so that the API server will give us the data. So to send the API request to the API server, we have so many ways. First of all, try to understand those all ways. Let us go to the simple example. Generally, API servers are expecting a request from the browser. So if you directly send a request, then also the API servers will give you the data. Like I have a very well-known request that is https colon double slash rest countries.com slash v3 slash all. So this kind of request we have to send to this restcountries.com API server. So then that server receives this request and that server sends us the data like this. So this kind of request is going directly from the browser. So with this, can somebody tell me what is the capital of Namibia? Hello. It is difficult, right? With this kind of UI, you can't tell us what is the capital city of Namibia, what is the currency of Afghanistan, what are the languages uh, officially recognized by Russia. These all things cannot be easily identified by this kind of data. So for that, what we do is we'll first generate a request from the script by using a method called fetch. Fetch is the method which is already available in the JavaScript. So I use the fetch method, fetch http s colon double slash rest countries.com slash v3 slash all. So this fetch request will give you the response as an object. So first I have to take the response, try to understand and try to be attentive here. Why we are using then, why I am doing all these things is a secondary thing. First of all, how to get the data. I know we are getting the data by sending the request. We are here understanding only how to do this. And what is happening is ES6 work. Okay. In ES6, we will see how to do and all. Okay. So let us see. Then response here. What do I do is in the response we don't get the complete data. So but in the response we'll have a method that is called JSON. That method has to be executed. So for that what do we do is res dot JSON function call will return the data inside the as a promise. I'll tell you what is promise next. First it will return the data as a promise. So that data will come into this callback function as a data. So here I will finally console the data what I have received. So now if I go to my program, if I again send a request to the server, now I got this particular code loaded on the browser. And then in this code, I made a request to. So the first part, what happened? I sent a request to the server. The server gave us this particular program, that is HTML page. In that page, I have the JavaScript. From the JavaScript, what I'm doing, I'm sending a request to the API server, and API server gave me the data. And finally, I received that data inside this final second then. Inside this, then I'm able to print the data in the console. This is what happened in the whole process. Okay, that's excellent. We got the data that is and displayed in the console. First of all, try to understand this is an array of objects. The array, the response is coming as array of objects in the JSON format. In the array of objects, every object is is in one of the index. So let me have BLM. I think it is, I don't know, what is this BLM? Name common site Bethlehem official. Is it country? Oh, I don't know. Okay. Let us go to 22nd UG. What is the name? You see how that Uganda. What is the Uganda capital? The capital is here, Kampala. Okay. So this is how the data is. This is how the data is. Each country details are in one array, one object. So in the code, what I can do is once I get the data, I run a for each, and I will create list items and I will show them in this UL. So first I will show you in that way. ID is equal to D2, let us say. So now I will run the code that is data, but if it is possible, try to name in a better way. Countries. Okay, this is because the response is set of countries. So I named my parameter as countries. Countries dot map of map for each. Function of. So in this function, I will be having one country, and each country actually I can, okay, let me have the console dot log of country. So now in the console, I am not having directly the array of objects. We are displaying each country as a separate object. So in this country, Finally, we have an object. Suppose I want to display only the name, country dot name dot common. So you have to see here, these are all the country names. If you are not comfortable, then try to see this. When I say country, you can observe in the object what is the structure we have. In the structure, borders are given with like this, capital given like this, currencies given like this, flags given like this, name given like this, latitude, languages, all these given in this particular manner. So here console.log of country. I don't want to print the country. I want country name. So that is available in country dot name. In the name again common is the name we have. So here country dot common dot sorry, name dot common. What are the way you can able to showcase that details. I hope you are clear about it. This is how the API calls work. Okay. Next. So once it is happened, we sent the request not to display in the console. I want to display that data in the UL. Am I clear? So how can I insert all those things in as a list here? So for every country, for every name, what I'll do is I'll create a li where nli is equal to document dot create element of li. So I created an li. In that li inner HTML, I will take that country dot common, sorry, name dot common. So in the so now li got prepared. So what I should do to display in the browser in the UL, I have to insert the newly created list item into the UL. So for that, document dot get element by ID of B2 dot append child. Yes, I'm doing it a little directly, but this is how I can do it. And now, if you observe, all the countries list is being displayed over here. Okay, right. This is excellent, but I don't want only in the list branch. I mean, not only in this way. So how can I perform this? Because we have done this in the past. UI generation, I made some. This is one thing. DOM generation 2. This is another thing. DOM generation 3. Yeah, I want to display the countries in this style. Okay. Now countries are displaying, only the names are getting displayed here. So how can I display these details in a box fashion? So for that, what I'll do, ఒక్క నిమిషం నాన్న. ఎవరో మీటింగ్ లింక్ కావాలని అడుగుతున్నా చూడు. మీటింగ్ లింక్ కావాలి సార్ చూడు, వాట్సాప్లో కొత్త మెసేజ్ చూడు. Guys, sorry. So I want to display like that. So how can I do that? Where is my events? What is it? API calls. Sorry. So once we get the data, of course we have created list item, but in that list item, I want to display the content in the H1. So what do? I don't insert like this. I'll create a header like where phone is where uh, name h1 is equal to document dot create element of h1 and h1 dot inner html is equal to country dot name dot common. So then I will insert nli dot append child of nh1. So now all the country names are coming in the h1s. The same way I want to display the image also. How can I display the image? For the image, I should first of all see how that data is coming down. Okay. So what do I do is I'll do one thing. I'll display the country console dot log of country so that I can see how the data structure is. I don't know, right? So here I want the flag. This flag is just an icon. Don't use this flag. Inside the flags property, we have an array. Inside that array, first element is that is zeroth index is SVG image. I need this part. So how can I do that? For image, I will create var NIM is equal to, I can name anything, document dot create element of img. Sir, this kind of image generation, table generation, all these things I have expressed, I have clearly taken 3 days only on that particular DOM generation and event generation. Now if you don't practice, don't blame me. Still I am teaching you. Okay. nmi dot nim dot src is equal to country dot flags of 0. Okay, inside the flags you have in the zeroth index you have the svg, so put it that and append this also in the nli dot append child of nim. So now if you see, after every country we got the flags also. But these flags are quite big. So for that, what I can do is I can keep a style for it. NIM dot style dot width is equal to 100 px. The same way, height is also equal to 100 px. But styling here is actually not a good idea. Do only one part, that is display the image, and somewhere else we will write the style. Here I will apply the style. Okay, calm down, I'll apply the style, but along with that I want to display the capital city also. So after name I want to put the capital city. This is how I will do it. So here, first name, country name, I am making the uh, what do you say, simple suggestion like this, name and L and islands. And then I want to print the capital city also. How can I print the capital city? If you see, in every object you have the capital city in the capital under the array. So if I want to print the capital city in another h1, do it. After country name, what do I do? I will create one new capital city h1 document dot create element of h1, and then ncp dot inner html is equal to capital is country dot capital of 0. Capital or capitals? Capital. Here I got an error. Cannot read property of zero. Okay. Savadiga. In some of the country, there must be no capital, it seems. In some country, there is no capital, it seems. Let us see what is that country. Country dot capital. Hey, not here, sorry, not here. Here in the console, country dot capital. There is undefined here. As soon as we read, okay, so somewhere I got to the capital city as undefined. Okay, so there are certain countries where there is no capital. ఇదిగో line number this one undefined. Here there is an undefined one. Here there is an undefined one. So for them there is no capital. Acha. So what do I do? Very simple. See how do I solve the problem? If country dot capital, if I have only country dot capital, then only you do this job. ncp dot inner html capital, and then whatever the ncp we created, that h1 I have to append it to the new list item ncp. So here capital city is coming up. I want this capital city immediately after the main h1 name, capital, all these things. So that is up to you. Instead of h1, let me have h2 so that there will be proper way. So this information I want to display in a proper way. So for that, what do I'll do? I start styling it. Hash d2. First of all, I want to make this display flex and flex wrap, and after d2, whatever the list item I have, so that I will be selected. Sir, I clearly mentioned what are the selectors in the css class itself. So in the d2 space li, I'll make the width as 200 pixels. So you can see all these things have happened. And then also hash d2 space li space img. I will make this width is 200 px, so that every thing came into the proper. Okay, 200 pixels is not sufficient, so make it 250. It will be looking good. And then make some margin 10 px, so that margin will be there. And list item, list style none, so that it will not come into that way. And also sometimes you need a box kind of thing. So here we want here 1px solid. So and padding should also be there 10px. So you can see now this is properly occupied. Okay. Then next thing, if you really want, then width 100%. If you make it as 100%, it will occupy full width of the space of its parent. So now you are able to see all these places. Hello. Have you understood this?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
How to send an API call, how to get the data, how to display the details. All these things can be done. But I want you to understand few more things. I want you to understand few more things. That is, you have to implement whenever you find. See, guys, we don't do anything other than this in our entire life. We have to make a call to the API. We get the data. Once we get the data, we have to implement the operations. Once we get the data, what we should do? We have to implement the operations. As simple as that. How to implement those operations is your job. Like, what kind of operations, sir? Okay. So, for example, uh, I want to display search. I want to make a search. Imagine, I want to implement the search. Of course, I'm taking something out of myself. I am already implementing you. I am not asking you to do by your own. Okay, it is not because of you can't do it. You should do it. Can't की बात ही नहीं है. You should do it. But still, I am doing it for your help. So here I will take up an input type is equal to text. And then I will enter the text and I had to, when I click on the button search, so you should be in a position to search the country here. Point number one. At the same time, I want some break, yeah, break, and here I would like to have a button for display countries in ascending order by population. Display ascending order by area. Imagine. So this is how, let me have these buttons. What is my expectation if I click on display countries by countries in ascending order by area? What do you mean by area? What do you mean by that area? Every country is having some space and area, right? Okay, here I let me, instead of capital, let me put the complete. So here area is 265. It is Kingdom of Bahrain. Okay, I don't know what the hell is that. So area is, it is why I am getting a very small countries. See here. What is this? Gabonese. So this is having little more area. This is also having less area. This is having more area. Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Yes, it is having more area. And if you go to Slovakia, it is having less area. So based on the area, I want to put it in the ascending order. So I want to sort these data. But how do I sort the data and how do I do all these things? So for that, first of all, you have to think in a little different way. The little different way is whatever the generation of UI is, that should not be inside the uh, what is a API call. You have to cut it and you have to put it. Okay, maybe I cut more code. So here up to here, cut it and put it inside the function called function gen UI. But inside this gen UI, I don't have countries. So for that, you have to call. So here I will call gen UI of countries, and here I will receive those countries. Names are same, okay, countries, and then also it will work. But what is the benefit out of it? Now the countries are not, I mean, the display is not directly done in the fetch. Okay, this is a separate functionality now because with that I can reuse it very well. And the second point is this country is better to be updated in another variable so that uh, what I'll have is all countries will be available in one area. I'll use that main array. I will maintain all the countries in another array. Like all countries is equal to all countries is equal to. In the beginning, it is empty, but once we get the response, of course, before calling the Gen UI, what will I do is I'll first update all countries is equal to countries. And then I will call all countries here. I'll pass all countries so that all the countries will be maintained over here. Now, what I will do is when I click on this button, on click is equal to sort by, I'll pass the area, sort by population. Population. So here I have to get this population. Do I have the population or not? Yes, population is there. Where is that population? Is direct number. So I have to call the function. Where do I call the function? Here I'll first of all define the function sort by sort by sort. Okay, so let us not sort by key. Let us make the name as sort by key. So sort by key, I'll take the function, I'll take the key, and based on the key, I have to sort. Again, I told this sorting concept in the array advanced methods, how to sort the array of objects by using key. So here, what I will do is, I will take up a different array, that is where temp is equal to all countries dot sort of a function. I'm sorting all countries first. Okay, all countries dot sort of a function, and here a comma b. If a dot a of k is greater than b of k. Sir, already I have explained this all concept in the sorting. Please look into that video once again and do come here. Return 1, else return -1. Let us see what will happen. If I click on population, sort by, oh, what happened? It got sorted, but again I have to call the gen UI function. Without calling the gen UI function, it will not happen. And before calling the gen UI function, I have to clear the complete list. So how can I clear the complete list? Document dot get element by ID of D2 dot inner HTML is equal to empty. Before generating the new UI, I have to do this. So first I will call gen UI of temp. So now when I click on this, it is sorted based on the population, actually sorted based on the population. Our India and China will come last. You can see that. You see here. Okay. If I return -1 and 1, it will be in the descending order. Okay. We wanted the ascending order, but when I click on it, this is in the descending order. Now, if I want to sort by area wise, actually Russia is the biggest country till date. Where is our Rus? Here. Russia is the biggest country. Okay. So how to display the Russia? How to sort all the countries by area. So I'll call the same function But this time I don't pass the population, I'll pass the area. So now when I click on ascending order by area, you see this. Russia is coming in the top, Antarctica, Canada, China, United States, Brazil, Australia, India. Then Argentina, Kazakhstan, Algeria, these all things have come. So this is how you have to understand how to change, how to modify the data and how to utilize the data. The same way, try to implement this particular functionality. I have shown you one functionality, that is sorting. You have to implement the search functionality by your own. Okay. So please do that, and it will give you more knowledge how to do that new thing and create it. Okay, I hope you understood. Am I skipping anything, friends? Hello, guys. Arun,
Yes, sir.
నేను ఇట్లా అడగడం కరెక్టేనా?
అడగచ్చు సార్.
లేదు, మీరు I want you to do that.
Yes, sir.
This is not only I am doing it. If I do it, I get it, right? Until and unless you start trying it, you will never reach to that place. Okay. So without any second thought, please complete this part. Okay. That is search by, implement the search and try to get ideas. If you are not getting ideas, let me know. I'll try my best to give you the ideas. But here, my question is not over. Actually, whatever I wanted to discuss, that is not over. API calling is this way, but how many different other ways we can make the API call? Okay, this is one way, no doubt in it. But in general, in React JS, we use another type of API call that is called as Axios. So let me complete it, because in Angular, whatever we are going to do, that is completely different. I have to teach you there itself. But at least in React, we will be dealing with some other aspect that is called as Axios. There is a library called Axios. By using that library, in that library, we have a method called get. In that method, wait a minute. In that method, we can send the request and we can reduce this big load. Okay. So first of all, to get that API call, we need something called Axios library. So don't install anything. Axios, type CDN, Axios CDN. You will get the CDN link, so that directly use that CDN link in your head section. Point number one. After that, as soon as you started using this Axios, there will be an object created in your compute in our browser. In our browser, as soon as you load this Axios library from a page, okay, only for that page this library will be available. After this, you have to write it like Axios dot get. What you have to do? Axios dot get, and the same link, instead of fetch, I am using Axios dot get. And after that, you have to use only one, then not two then function. In the res, you will have directly the data in res dot data. Again, you need not to type res dot json. Okay. So I'll just make these two things here like this. All countries is equal to, not actually countries, it will be available in res dot data. Inside the data, these countries will be available for you. So remaining things are same. So instead of this call, I'll use the Axios dot get, so that the same display will be there. Remaining things are also the same. The only difference is we got to know how to use Axios for the same kind of request. For the same kind of things, we can use Axios for a simplified approach. That's okay. This is one part. Let us see. I have, apart from REST countries API, apart from this URL, there are thousands of URLs. There are crores of URLs, maybe possible, uh, which are providing data for us. Okay, so you can make use of that data and you can display that data. So how can I do that? Let us see. So no authentication, without any authentication, no course errors. Okay, so we get biryanis as a service. Okay, so biryanis as a service, this particular API endpoint will give us all the biryanis. Okay, but when I click on it, it is not showing me anything. Okay, there is something wrong. Okay, no issues. We have to keep on clicking on it. Cat facts. Okay, cat as service. Hmm. Dice bear avatars documentation. How to use it? Where is the API call? Okay. Hmm. Okay. These APIs is slow. अच्छा, cool. So if you send isro.versalapp.centers, it will give you different centers, first of all. So if I make a call to this particular API from my program, what will happen? I'll make the same way, one more copy, that is API calls to ISRO centers.html. Let me use the same thing. Let me show you how does it work. Do I have images? If I have images, it will be more more appealing. No images are available here. Wait a minute. API slash here also. It's launchers. Okay, this is not giving us much data. Okay, no issues. I'll show you. I'll show you how to do that. A to Z, Z to A. We have to go to NASA. Open top data. Hmm. I'll show you. Don't worry. NASA. Yes, guys. These APIs are too good, man. Too good. So they will give you browse APIs. So NASA asteroid news. Okay. API key is required here, but that stupid fellow said that no authentication is. If I send this request, let me see what kind of response I'm going to get. Oh, we got it. We got it, but does it have the image? I think we got an image. Do we? Hmm. This kind of data you are supposed to print it. Elements, links. Okay. Next, previous and self. But if I use this, you may feel like it is too much. That's fine. I have other data also that is called as fake store API slash products. When I send a request to this, I'll also get some data with images. This is also sufficient. But what you should do is you should able to send the request and get the data. Okay, so if you send the request to this fake store products API, what you can do is you can replace this URL with that URL, and instead of all countries, I have to say all products is equal to an empty array. All products is equal to the response data and gen UI all products. See how I am doing it, and then products. After once you get the products dot for each of product. See how things are moving ahead. Okay, so each product I had to display in the console as a list item. Okay, but you have to be careful about how the products are coming out. So let me display only product structure instead of showing anything in the UI. First only display the product structure from this. Okay, so here in the console, I am getting the product, the category, description, image, price, and title. This is the data what I have received. Okay, so here first thing. Okay, so now I'll uncomment it. I have to create a list item. I have to create a H1. But here in the H1, under the product title, what I am supposed to print? Product dot title directly, title, and then there is no capital indeed. So what I'll do is I'll make use of price here. So ncp dot uh, if actually there is no if needed, because for every product we have a price. So happily use this. Price is equal to price is product dot price. And then if you want image directly, you can make use of product dot image. There is no something like flags or anything, image. So add all the products and see how does it look like. Save and see the product images. And this is another view of another usage of a different API. I'm using different API, getting the data, and I'm displaying the products. And if you are able to control the height as well as width and height, that will be displayed in this asset. Okay, and slowly, I'll do so many things. Here, the title is too long, so I will slice it to 10 characters only. And now if you see, only the necessary amount of characters are displayed, not more. So you can properly see that mechanism. Are you getting it? So this is how you are able to understand. Even if you don't want, remove the title and see this, how does it Oh, what happened? Inner HTML is equal to what happened? Didn't I didn't get the response. Maybe I have made too many API calls to that endpoint, so it is not responding me for a while. That's okay. It happens. It happens. Here also, it is taking a lot of time to get the response. So that API endpoint is busy for now. Okay, but this country's API is well working well and good. This is how I can able to make the API calls from my endpoint to the server. Have you understood this, guys? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Mhm.
sir.
So I want you to do this completely. Okay. Let me, okay, because I got a very good response from two, three people. So let me continue to one more aspect. That is, how do we include? See, you ultimately you have to use this public API for doing interacting with APIs. You have to start using it. So, for example, cats. I want to interact with this API to get more cats. To get cats. So for that, I need the key for cats API. How can I get the key? You need a key, right? You need a key. So how can I get key? To get more than 10 and additional fields, then be sure to use your API key from the welcome email X API key header, or API key is equal to query string parameter to access all the images and data. But I don't have any API key, so without API key, can I get some random 10 images? Only images is not my point. I need some better information. So ID, image, temperament. What's the name of it? Name is here. So yes, I got it, but so much of information. Huh? But if I want more number of, uh, I want more cats, and when I select one cat, okay, not images. Okay. Wait a minute. So I got the ID and the image. Super, super, super. I want this only. But for this, do I need any key? I don't need any key. So this you can do this just by using this particular URL. Without the key, you are able to get the images. Okay. But I want you to understand how do we send keys through the request. I want to show you that. These are the projects what bring you your portfolio to the next level. Okay. So yeah, actually, basic auth, basic auth. This is how to implement the basic authentication. Generally, at least you are able to use this authorization header. I want you to learn and understand in all the three ways. Sending the API key. That means some URLs will be expecting the API key. Without that API key, you can't uh, you can't access the data. First, that's the point. So okay, so for that we need definitely an API key. But how that API key can be transported? What do you mean by that? Transported? That API key should be able to send through the URL just like this. I mean, here along with this question mark, uh, or else that is, yeah, question mark, not question mark, limit, comma, API key is equal to so and so. You can send in this way. Here, here they are asking slash. You have to give after V1. You have to give the API key directly. This is one way, or else send the API key through authorization. That is also another way. Okay, fine. We'll send this API key, no doubt in it. We'll do that today. Get a free email, and I'll just write down info.edupoly @gmail.com. So get a free API key and let me see whether I get that API key or not. Yes, I got the API key, man. Super. So here I have the API key, of course. So here uh, I can use this API key for getting the data. That's fine. And how to send and what we can get that data. REST API, market API data. So for general request, here are the examples, man. This is wait a minute. I got the API key. That's well and good. We need API docs. Okay. This is the API docs. Okay. Example. Here it is. So here I can make use of fetch with X coin API key, and I had to replace this API key here. So this is what I wanted to show you, friends. Okay, because in the future you had to uh, do this work. So how to send our API keys in our API communication. Maybe some people are very new to the API keys today. ఈ రోజు కొంతమందికి కొత్తగా ఉండొచ్చు. Try to understand Upender, Snehal, all of you guys. If you are new to this API calls and all, I know it is not that easy for you. But uh, should I drop my idea of teaching you in depth? Hello.
కంటిన్యూ అవ్వండి సార్.
అర్థమవుతుంది కదా. నేను ఏదో కష్టమైన అన్ని మీ నెత్తి మీద పెట్టడం అని కాదు. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ ట్రైంగ్ టు పుట్ యూ టూ మెనీ థింగ్స్ ఆన్ యువర్ హెడ్, బట్ దిస్ ఈస్ ద డెప్త్ వాట్ యు ఆర్ సపోజ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్. ఓకే, సో ఐ విల్ బి హ్యాపీ ఇఫ్ యూ డూ సంథింగ్ అండ్ షో మీ వన్ డే. ఓకే, ఫైన్. నేను ఏది చెప్పాలో చెప్పిన, ఇంకా మీ ఇష్టం. నా పని అయితే నేను కరెక్ట్ గానే చేస్తున్నా. ఐఎమ్ డూయింగ్ మై వర్క్ ఇన్ అ వెరీ ప్రాపర్ వే. Okay, rest is how much you really do practice and how much you really work is up to you. Okay, because this is my responsibility, I'll fill it. So let us do this. Let us execute the same thing. And API calls, API calls, copy paste, API calls with key. So here the first thing is how to do with fetch instead of Axios. I'll remove all these things. Whatever the data I get, first of all, I don't want to disturb you with too many things. Whatever the data I get, let me get it. Let's drop API calls with key. So if it is needed, I will write it later. Okay, my thing is clear. So simply I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. So here it is calling Binance spot Ethereum Bitcoin history. Period ID is 1 month. Time starts from 2020. Oh, wow. 2023 1st March data is available. My God. Cool. So that is going to give us the data. And with you have to send that API key as a second argument. Can you see this? In the second argument, as an object, I am sending the API key as a header. In the header, again, as an object, I am sending X coin API key is your API key. So I had to replace this API key with my API key. Of course, this is going to be in the private. Please be responsible for my code and my API keys. Don't use it. You create it and use it. And then now I will run the code and see the output. Wow, cool, man. Excellent. So I'm able to get the high price and low price in that duration, whatever the duration it was. I'm able to. I got 7 streams, 7 points. Okay, so what is the purpose of this is later అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తారంటే I'll show you how crucial is this, how important is this. What was the Binance spot? Okay, Binance Bitcoin. ఓకే, సో మీరు ఇమేజెస్ చూస్తే trading లో ఎట్లా how the trading happened. So you can create, if you are able to properly utilize this particular coin API, you are able to show these all candles. These are all candle bars. You can able to show all these kind of bars with live data. Okay, if you need to do purchase, if it is necessary, these kind of graphs you have to generate. Sir, put these kind of projects in your resume. Put these kind of projects in your resume. Analysis of Binance Bitcoin report. Making the graphs and candles of Binance Bitcoin report is the title of the project. Calls the title. Once you are able to do that, boom, your resume will be picked up in a very proper way. Resume will be picked up in a very proper way, and they will call you, they will respect you, they will treat you better because of your projects, not because of your I know React JS, I know HTML, I know CSS. These things doesn't make you anything bigger. You have to bring this kind of projects on your resume. So I just wanted to motivate you. I mean, I tried my best to say how to send the date, how to send the request to that kind of what to say, API request, and get not 1 month, let me have 10 months. I don't know whether I get it or not, but let me see this. The parameter period ID is invalid. Acha, 10 months. Okay. So in the 2 months of time period, yes, we got only 2 months. This is how it happened. In 2 months, the price, low price, high price, price start, all these things. Okay. So I will discuss with my brother, and I will give you a project on this. I will ask you to display this kind of data in the in the in the time period. So here it will show you something like time period start and time period end. In this, how many trade counts are happened? These kind of information we have. So this information should be displayed in a bar chart, or what you say, uh, stick diagrams, candle diagrams, this kind of way. If you are able to display, then it will be beautiful. But start using this. Start using this. Just I wanted to show you, yes, this is going to happen. So I wanted to introduce you, this kind of APIs are possible. Let me new hacker news. Okay, let me go through the different APIs also, where you can do some project on this. Understood? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So be energized and start working on this API calls. Tomorrow we are going to start ES6, that is ECMAScript 6.0 tomorrow. Okay. Everyone, Vidhi, please come online. I will not be available in the office tomorrow. Okay. If I stop a class in the last moment, don't take me wrong. I need to shift my house. Okay. Hardly I want to put only one day, but if it happens 2 days, I can't help. Tomorrow I will let you know. Okay. Thank you. See you guys. See you tomorrow.